If your dirt bike is plated and you ride it on road at highway speeds, you probably notice that it starts vibrating at a certain speed. For me, it's typically about 80 kilometers per hour or above, which is about 50 miles an hour. And the bike starts vibrating up and down. Typically, the cause is the front wheel is out of balance, usually due to the rim lock being fitted and not balanced. So this video is to show you how I balance the front wheel. To balance the wheel, I use a static balancer. It's a pretty simple piece of equipment. It basically has a stand, two arms, 4 bearings, and then an axle, and then some spacers which fit into the hub to hold the wheel securely on the axle. You can see here there's a level, and the feet are adjustable to make the stand level. Before you use the static balancer, you should make sure the bearing surfaces are all clean and the bearings are free to rotate, and also that the axle is clean. And then you can check it rotates freely. To install the axle in the wheel, you'll need to remove one of the spacers, and they typically have set screws like this, so just loosen one side and then you can install the axle and then install the spacer, and then holding the axle tight so there's no play in the hub, tighten the set screw in the spacer. To balance the wheel, you're going to need some weights. There's various types available. These two are both stick-on ones. You can see on the back side they have adhesive tape. These particular ones are made by Motion Pro. They're quite small, so you need a lot to balance the wheel. And if you put them sideways, they just about fit on a KTM off-road rim. But as I say, you do need quite a few of them to balance the wheel. These ones are automotive use, and the width is really a little too large for KTM off-road rims, so I don't often use those. And these ones are spoke weights, which I make myself, and available on the Tokyo Off-Road web shop. And they're machined out of brass, and they're designed so that 2 of them will perfectly balance a tubeless system. So you just slip them over the spoke down onto the spoke nipple, and then there's a set screw which you tighten down onto the flat of the spoke nipple, and that holds it securely in place. Once you've installed the axle and the hub, you can put the wheel on a static wheel balance tester. And I'm going to start with the low pressure valve, which I know is the heaviest part, at 90 degrees to where I think it's going to settle, just to show you how fast it rotates when it's out of balance. So you can see there it moves very quickly, showing it's grossly out of balance. And you could leave it like that to settle, but it'd take a long time, so I'm going to move it close to where I think it's going to stop and let it settle. Okay, so it's stopped moving now, and as I expected, the low pressure valve is right at the bottom. So that indicates this is the heaviest part of the wheel, and that I need to apply my weight to balance the wheel opposite to that. And as I'm going to be using spoke weights, 2 of them, I've identified 2 spokes to attach the weights to. And the Tokyo Off-Road spoke weights, they have a slick cut in them, so you pass over these spokes and then just push down onto the spoke nipple, and then they have a set screw, and when you've finalized the position, it's a good idea to apply some Loctite to the set screw so it can't come loose. And make sure you tighten the set screw down onto the flat of the spoke nipple. Okay, so I've installed the 2 spoke weights, and to test whether it's in balance, I'm going to put the low pressure valve and the spoke weights across like this and check whether the wheel moves round. And as you can see, it's in really good balance, and you can check multiple positions just to make sure. But that's pretty much spot on, so I'm happy with that. If you prefer to use some stick-on weights like these and don't know how much weight you need, the method I use is to attach the weights temporarily, just with some tape around the wheel, and then check the balance. And if you need more weight, just tape some more on. If it's too heavy, take some off. So once you've finalised how much weight you need, then to use the double-sided tape and stick them on. On my dirt bikes, I typically don't bother balancing the rear wheel, as even when it's out of balance, it doesn't seem to have much effect on the ride. But certainly the front wheel has a huge difference when it's balanced properly. So you can see by using the static wheel balancer and some weights, it's cheap, quick and easy to balance your front wheel.